There's an old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that saying certainly applies to the Kia Sportage. It's been around for some time and Kia has been mindful that updating it doesn't disrupt what has made it so successful. Now, for 2020, the Sportage lineup has received an update, and we're curious if it's all in the looks or if this 2020 Kia Sportage offers more than meets the eye.
We'd like to thank the folks at JTs Kia in Rockhill, South Carolina for allowing us to test this 2020 Kia Sportage SX Turbo. JTs Kia has a nice selection of new and used vehicles, so if you're in the market for a new vehicle, certainly check out the folks at JTs Kia. The Kia Sportage received a major redesign in 2017, and for the 2020 model year, Kia has given it a facelift and made some additional tweaks to the styling. It has rounded and curved lines that give it somewhat of a cartoonish personality, but it's still aggressive and striking to look at. The Sportage competes in a segment that includes compact crossovers such as the Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and Nissan Rogue. With the new arrival of Kia's own Seltos, which is similar in size, price, and equipment to the Sportage, Kia may be stepping on their own toes a bit. But while the Seltos seems to prefer to sip wine, the Sportage clearly wants to chug a beer. At least in the styling department, compared to other crossovers in this segment, the Sportage brings plenty of uniqueness to the party. The one we have here is a 2020 Kia Sportage SX Turbo with the $1,500 optional all-wheel drive, and the car is painted in Pacific Blue. Starting up front, the Sportage has a bug-eyed look. It's cute, but also looks like it could be mean. The word Pokemon keeps coming to mind. The hood has two distinct creases that flare out almost like fangs or antennas. The grille received a slight update with tweaked edges, and along with the tiger nose grille, somewhat resembles a bow tie. The radar panel has been moved up from the lower part of the grille and now sits front and center. The front bumper has also been updated, and SX Turbo models have gloss black accents that stretch across its length. Underneath the bumper is an updated silver skid plate with a metallic look. The headlights have been updated and look like they would be perfectly at home on a Porsche Macan. There is a hint of Porsche Macan throughout the Sportage's design. The headlight is boxed in by 4 LEDs. For 2020, the Sportage gets LED turn signals. There's also LED fog lights. The Sportage measures in at 176.4 inches in length and 65.2 inches in height, with the roof rails and optional all-wheel drive. That makes it about 4 inches longer and 1 inch taller than the 2021 Seltos. However, the Sportage is smaller than the Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and Nissan Rogue. The Sportage finds itself in a bit of a middle space between smaller entry-level crossovers and the standard crop of compact crossovers. The Kia Sportage has traditional crossover proportions when viewing it from the side. The side styling is pretty tame, with a simple accent line that runs most of the vehicle's length. For 2020, the SX model gets newly designed 19-inch alloy wheels wrapped in 245/45 19-inch tires. The SX Turbo also gets larger 12.6-inch rotors up front. The door handles have chrome accenting on SX Turbo models. Vehicles with all-wheel drive get an all-wheel drive badge on the side. The trim surrounding the windows is chrome, and the side mirrors are power folding and have integrated turn signals. Moving to the rear, the 2020 Sportage has LED lighting with the red assembly that stretches the length of the tail, although the entire bar isn't a light. The incandescent turn signals and reverse lights are in the lower part of the bumper. The rear bumper and skid plate are also redesigned. The rear skid plate, like the front, is finished with a metallic look. The exhaust also has newly designed tips and gets a chrome finish. All models come with the rear spoiler, and the top 3 trims add the roof rails. Overall, I like the look of the Kia Sportage. Again, I get a bit of Porsche Macan vibes from it, but also it has its own individual playful look. Getting into the Kia Sportage can be done using the key you see here. You can also use the button on the door handle to lock and unlock the vehicle when the key is nearby.
Alright, hopping into the 2020 Kia Sportage SX all-wheel drive, and I'm probably starting to sound a bit like a broken record if you've watched any of my other videos reviewing Kias, and that's honestly because Kia keeps on delivering. I mean, the build quality in this car is, forget Japanese products, is really on par with a lot of European cars as well. Sure, there's a lot of hard plastics in here, but the fit and finish of those materials is very, very high quality. I mean, if you take, for instance, the center console, it doesn't budge at all. There's no squeaking, there's no cracking, and that really is a testament to how much time and energy Kia puts into making sure that all of their vehicles are top-notch.
The Kia Sportage SX Turbo gets a number of interior upgrades. The most obvious is the standard 8-inch touchscreen with voice command and navigation. The screen is fine, but nothing too special in today's landscape where screens are everywhere. It is quick to respond and allows for a number of customizable features. Sound comes through an Harman Kardon audio system with 320 watts and 8 speakers. The system does support both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Dual zone climate control comes standard with the SX Turbo, and adjusting the climate is done using physical buttons. The paneling is lined in gloss black chrome trim. The seating is leather and perforated. The driver's seat is 10-way power with 2-way power lumbar support. The steering wheel is also adjustable to get the best driving position. The SX Turbo adds an 8-way power adjustable front passenger seat. The SX Turbo also comes with heated and ventilated seats standard. The leather-wrapped steering wheel is also heated on the SX Turbo and has a flat bottom design for a sportier look and feel. On the right side of the steering wheel are buttons for cruise control functions, and on the left side of the steering wheel are buttons for audio and media. On the back of the wheel are up and down paddle shifters. They have a nice feel to them and are coated to give a metallic look. The instrument cluster contains analog gauges and an LCD display for the trip computer. In the lower center console, you will find controls for the drive modes, the differential lock for the all-wheel drive system and hill descent, a button to activate the parking sensor, and an electronic parking brake with auto hold. In terms of connectivity, there is a wireless phone charger, a USB port, and 12-volt outlets. SX Turbo models get chrome inside door handles, one-touch power up and down driver window, LED interior lighting, alloy sport pedals and metal door scuff plates. The rearview mirror is auto dimming, and there are lighted vanity mirrors. There are cup holders in the center console, and plenty of room for storage under the center armrest and in the glove compartment. Front passengers are treated to 37.6 inches of headroom and 41.5 inches of legroom. In the rear, there is 37.9 inches of headroom and 38.2 inches of legroom, so rear passengers get just as much space as those up front. The rear seats also recline for a more comfortable seating position. Rear passengers are treated to good quality materials for this class. There is a USB port and 12-volt outlet in the rear, and the SX Turbo has rear climate control vents. There's a middle armrest with cup holders, and the seat backs have nets for storage. The panoramic sunroof comes standard on the SX Turbo and allows rear passengers to get a good view of the sky. Getting into the hatch can be done using the key or by pressing the button on the liftgate. Using the button on the inside of the hatch, you can stop the hatch from rising at a certain level. The Sportage SX Turbo, along with the EX trim, have a power liftgate. Once the gate is open, you can gain access to 30.7 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats up. This particular vehicle is equipped with an optional cargo cover. It helps give some separation from items in the rear, as well as adds a level of privacy to items in the rear. The cover can be removed by simply pulling it to one side and taking it out. The rear seats are easy to lower, and when folded down, the cargo space expands to 60.1 cubic feet. Again, these numbers put the SX Sportage in a middle ground between compact crossovers like the Honda CR-V and smaller entry-level crossovers like the Toyota CHR. Underneath the deck floor is a temporary spare tire. It's easy to access by pushing back the folding cover. The Sportage SX Turbo has a push-button start. Let's press the button and start it up. The engine is a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 connected to a 6-speed automatic. It makes 237 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque with all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive models are rated at 240 horsepower. Either way, that's really great power in this class, and more than enough to get the roughly 3,800 pound Sportage moving along.
Okay, taking the 2020 Kia Sportage for a drive, and first impressions are this platform feels very well planted. Being a small crossover, it feels a bit like a mid-size sedan in terms of its driving characteristics. So we're going to give it a little bit of gas here to see what this turbocharged engine feels like. For a small crossover, that's pretty impressive. I think this turbocharged engine will have more than enough get up and go for most owners. And in sport mode, there's a decent amount of feedback. The transmission shifts okay. It could be a little bit quicker, but nothing really to complain about.
Overall, the Sportage has above average power and handling characteristics for this class of crossovers. I personally think Kia did a great job updating the Sportage without losing sight of what made it such a success to begin with. The name Sportage is fitting for this vehicle because it does have very sporty attributes. The Sportage also has a long list of driver's aids and safety features. In terms of negatives, Kias do tend to fall behind in fuel economy in their respective segments, and the Sportage SX Turbo is no different. While the fuel economy numbers aren't bad, they are at the bottom of the list when compared to its Japanese competitors. However, it's worth considering the extra performance you get from the Kia's turbocharged 4-cylinder. Also, with the $33,590 MSRP, the Sportage SX Turbo isn't cheap. The list of standard features can justify the cost a bit, but for a smaller crossover, paying over $30,000 might be a hard pill to swallow for some. After spending some time with the Sportage, I was easily won over, and if you're looking for a compact crossover that has in-your-face styling and dynamic driving characteristics, it's worth your time to check out the 2020 Kia Sportage SX Turbo. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.